Hi and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Azria. I'm a frequency translator, as well as a few other things. But what I really wanted to just come on here and say and share with you briefly is: anyone else been waking up really early, like 2, 3 in the morning, and not being able to get back to sleep? And sometimes old things come into your mind, maybe old emotions, old thoughts, and thinking, where the hell did that come from? It's almost as though it's on its last legs, it's sort of clearing out. I had that the other day. But let me just backtrack a second before I go into that anymore. So there will be a series of videos around lived experience, because one of the things that I'm hearing quite a lot is how, with all of this change, it's difficult sometimes to put it into words. Your higher self, or your link to source, or however you see it, knows what's going on, but we are in these vessels that's got a mind to be contending with, that has got a lymphatic system to be contending with, that has got a nervous system to be contending with, that has got all these other bodies, your emotional, physical, spiritual, and so on, within our field, as well as obviously having that new awareness around all the different coding and tuning into all these different frequencies, linking into our star families, our star beings, as well as what's actually happening on Gaia with her frequencies and changes that are happening, as well as what's happening in the skies, not only with, as I said, our off-world friends, but what is happening sort of weather-wise as well. So you know what, and I mean, I probably haven't even scratched the surface. We got a lot to be contending with, people. So within ourselves, with all of these changes within energies or frequencies and awareness and conscious, and moving from third density to fourth to fifth, all these changing in consciousness, and which I do talk about quite a bit, is that heart coherence, that heart consciousness that we are wonderfully moving into. And as sensitives, I don't need to tell you how it makes me well up every time, how much we've been waiting for this, how much we've been waiting for this frequency to come in. But we've also need to recalibrate, because, as I said, we've been dealing with this planet now for a very, very long time, under the control, under the manipulation, under the negativity, under the lower vibrational energies. So again, with everything else that I was mentioning on top of that, on top of living our day-to-day lives, picking the kids up, doing whatever, it's a lot. But going back to the morning bit, going back to the waking up. Now we can go down, and I'm not saying anyone is right or wrong here, absolutely not, because I think there is absolute truth in a lot of them. So some people say, oh, it's the witching hour. Some people say, oh, it's when you're when we've gone out, so our consciousness has gone elsewhere while this vessel's asleep, and we've come back in and boom, it's given us a bit of a shock. Absolutely happens all the time. Or we've had a visitation, or I don't know, we ate a dodgy curry, or whatever the case may be. But I just want you to take a second And I think it has been quite recently, say in the past 2 months, maybe something like that, where you've either woken up at midnight, especially if you've gone to bed at like 8, 9 o'clock, or 2, 3 in the morning, or maybe you haven't even managed to get as far as sleep first. And from what I'm hearing is it's normally 2 or 3 nights on the trot. Not just 1, but 2, maybe 3 that it happens on. And this is really the transition, but we're standing on the threshold of that transition. And you see, when we go to sleep or when we rest, it then gives our nervous system and our minds that time to process. That is why, I don't know again if any of you guys have been getting it, but needing to rest more. And I don't just mean laying on the sofa, scrolling on social media to get that dopamine hit like many ADHD brains, including myself, sometimes do. But to actually physically rest. And there's nothing wrong in that. There really is nothing wrong in that at all. Because that is giving your system time to recalibrate, to balance out. Because you are becoming somebody who you've never been before. Or, some would argue, haven't been for a very, 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 very long time. So as much as we're tuning in to that new frequency, we need to see what's happening with that frequency within ourselves. So again, if it's good for you, maybe jot it down, maybe journal, maybe record how you're feeling, what's going on. But just, I would say, be more aware and a little bit more forgiving of yourself as well. Because you may also be finding that you're turning into, and I don't know what other words to really use that might be better, into a version, as I said, a version of you you've never been before. Your behaviors might be changing. Your likes, your dislikes might be changing as well. And that's all to do with the recalibration. When you say you're wanting to be more connected with your spirit team, there's a level of transition and recalibration that goes on in your energetic field in order to build. Oh, sorry, I've got hair on my hand. To build up that energy. And I've put on here a threshold. And that's not just one threshold. So you don't just get, right, okay, here, and then I'm going to go off this threshold and I'm going to be exactly who I need to be, when I need to be. It don't work that way. Sometimes we go through 2, 3, 4, 9 times out of 10, it's at certain ages. But at the moment, what I'm hearing is that it's happening more and more throughout somebody's week, year, month. So as I said, it is that identity shift. Maybe just take a little look back. And say at yourself, what, 6 months ago? 3 months ago? 3 years ago? I bet you're not the same person you were back then. I know I'm not. I know, I'm certainly not. But just a little bit of advice and guidance. You can take it, you don't have to. But if you do find yourself waking up at this 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock or 12 o'clock and as I said, it doesn't feel like depression, it doesn't feel like anxiety, it doesn't feel like burnout, it doesn't feel like a dodgy curry, it doesn't feel like whatever the case may be, but you're like, something is changing. Just take a minute and give yourself a little body scan. Just bringing your awareness from the top of your head. Think, right, eyes, nose, mouth, neck, chest, stomach, arms, hands, fingers, every single area, whether you do it top to bottom or bottom to top, because that is the first way that you are telling your nervous system and you are telling your brain that actually it's okay. Because remember, as I said before, they are there to protect you. And where these changes and these recalibrations are happening, especially at a time when, as I said, our body's going into that relaxed mode, so everything is starting to be processed, you're kind of telling it, you know what, I'm okay. There is also a little bit of breath work you could maybe add in there as well, and I found that particularly helpful. And I'm not going to tell you how to breathe, but an example would be in for 4, hold for 2, out for 4. Or again, whatever that timing is, but keep it in a very timed and controlled way. You might be in for 4, hold for 7, out for 4. Whatever you feel is good. And then also during the day as well, because we tend to separate kind of day and night when actually you are you, no matter whether it's day or whether it's night. So maybe the next day, maybe eat some more grounding foods, for an example. Maybe a few more vegetables than you would maybe usually. Take a walk outside more than you would maybe usually. Do that rest thing we spoke about and not feel guilty. Not just do those breathing techniques at night. Maybe try them during the day as well. Keep a diary of this, because you never know when you might need to share it with somebody else. Because it's all about passing it forward, passing it on. And also one of the very, very, I believe, important things is, and I have to remind myself sometimes as well, this is temporary. This transition is temporary. Might look back in again in 6 months' time and go, yeah, that you've slept like a baby ever since, or whatever the case may be. Or you might be going through another large time, who knows? There are a few other rabbit holes I could go down, but I just wanted to keep this video very, very short. And please, by all means, put anything in the comments or get hold of me at alarianresonance.com. And said there will be other videos coming up following this one as well. Hopefully I've managed to get my eye coordination with the camera in the screen and the camera in the screen. But thank you for bearing with me. Oh, there's one other thing. Don't try and think your way out of it. Because these things, as I said, are coming up. So when you have that thought around, oh, that person didn't text me, or that emotion which you thought you'd dealt with, or whatever the case may be, when you can't get to sleep, when you wake up at 3-4 o'clock in the morning. Because remember, this is a calibration and a feeling and an energy and a frequency that you are going into that you wouldn't have dealt with before. So what I would say is acknowledge those thoughts, those feelings, and release them. If you feel that there is still something that you need to work through or work with, absolutely. I'm not saying don't. Whatever you do will be the right thing for you. But I would just either record it on your phone quickly or jot it down and then see to it in the morning. Or if you can, just ask your higher self, ask your intuition. Is this something I need to work on? Because 9 times out of 10, I'm sure that, excuse me, that it isn't. It is that level of clearing. It's kind of like the last final strands. Anyway, I hope this has been helpful. I hope that you may have got something from this, which would be great. There will be more videos coming up. As I said, hopefully I've got used to my camera and everything now, which would be even better. Yeah, look out for updates. And there will be definitely more going on Alerian Resonance over the next few weeks, which I'm very, very excited about. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Sleep well. Sending lots of love from my heart to yours. Bye-bye.